Hello and welcome to Market Square, your go-to show for deep insight into business and economic trends. I'm your host, Olaiton Adebayo. And today we're diving into a major global economic shift that could hit close to home. Picture this. You're planning to buy a car, fuel your generator, or even import machinery for your businesses. But suddenly, the prices skyrocket. Why? Because of a trade war happening thousands away in Washington, D.C. That's right. Donald Trump's renewed tariff policy could have a ripple effect on Nigeria's economy. But how exactly? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Market Square. Let's get straight into it. Trump's economic philosophy has always been American first, focusing on protecting U.S. jobs and manufacturing. By imposing tariffs, Trump aims to make imported goods more expensive, thereby encouraging domestic production and reducing the U.S. trade deficit. However, these policies often trigger counter tariffs from affected countries, which can lead to trade wars and global economic disruptions. The U.S. has announced a substantial increase in tariffs with a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico and a 10% tariff on imports from China. This policy shift, effective February 4, 2025, is part of President Donald Trump's American First agenda, aimed at reducing the trade deficit and encouraging domestic production. The tariffs are expected to raise prices for American consumers on a wide range of products, including automobiles, electronics, and household goods. Importers, primarily American companies, will bear the cost of these tariffs, which they are likely to pass on to the consumers. This could lead to a higher inflation and increased costs for businesses and households. Now, you might be wondering, how does Nigeria come into play here? Well, let's talk numbers. In 2023, Nigeria imported 1.47 trillion naira worth of used cars from US, and as of September 2024, that number stood at 892 billion naira. If tariffs are raised on automobile exports from the US, those already expensive Tokumba vehicles could become even more pricier. This means that middle-class Nigerians looking to own a car might have to reconsider their options. The used cars market in Nigeria heavily depends on US exports. If the cost of bringing in vehicles increases due to higher tariffs, it will directly affect affordability. We've already seen a trend where people are opting for locally used vehicles instead of imported ones. Let's talk about something that affects every single Nigerian, and that's fuel prices. The US is one of the major sources of petroleum-based products like gas oil, motor spirits, and lubricants. If import costs rise due to tariffs, fuel prices in Nigeria could surge even higher, and what that means for Nigeria is that increased transport costs, expensive logistics, and ultimately inflation across the board. The cost of fuel is a major driver of inflation. When fuel prices rise, the cost of transporting goods increases, which leads to price hikes on everything, from food to manufactured products. If Nigeria remains heavily reliant on petroleum imports, Trump's tariff could compound to the rising inflation we're already facing due to the exchange rates. But can Nigeria mitigate the impact of these tariff policies? There's a silver lining here. Nigeria is actively expanding its refinery capacity, particularly with the Dangote refinery, which has the potential to significantly reduce our dependence on imported petroleum products. The 650,000 barrels per day refinery could help stabilize domestic fuel prices and mitigate the effect of global trade disruptions. With increased local refinery capacity, Nigeria will be able to meet more of its domestic fuel demand, reducing reliance on imports and insulating itself from tariff-driven price hikes. While Trump's policies in 2025 could create economic challenges, Nigeria has an opportunity to strengthen its local industries and reduce dependencies on imports. However, if policymakers don't take proactive measures, we could see inflation spikes in critical areas like transportation, fuel, and even basic goods. But the question is, are we ready for the changes ahead? Now we'll move to the second headline. This will have a major impact on Nigeria's economy in a positive way. The Coca-Cola system in Nigeria, comprising Coca-Cola Nigerian Limited and its bottling partner, Nigerian Bottling Company, has officially launched a cutting-edge packaging collection hub in Apapa, Lagos. This facility isn't just any recycling center. It is designed to process up to 13,000 metric tons of plastic bottles annually. That's a massive step towards addressing Nigeria's plastic waste crisis. But beyond its environmental benefits, this initiative is a key driver of economic impact. The hub will serve as a central point for collecting and processing PET plastics, ultimately supporting the production of recycled PET through the strategic third-party partnerships. This means cleaner streets, reduced environmental pollution, and a more sustainable packaging ecosystem. This is not just about sustainability, it's about investment and economic growth. Now let's talk about the economic impact on this on Nigeria. When a multinational like Coca-Cola makes a major investment in infrastructure, it sends a strong signal that Nigeria is still a priority market. Over the past decade, Coca-Cola has injected a staggering $1.5 billion into Nigeria's economy. That's investment in jobs, infrastructure, and community initiatives. And here's where it gets better. The company has recently announced plans to more than double its investment rate over the next 5 years, committing $1 billion to further these efforts. But what does this mean for the average Nigerians? Well, for starters, the new hub will create jobs in waste collection, processing, and logistics. It will also empower small and medium enterprises involved in waste management, while also reducing Nigeria's reliance on imported virgin plastics. More local production, more local jobs. Beyond the economic impact, let's talk about sustainability. The Coca-Cola system has set ambitious global goals to tackle packaging waste. They're looking to use 35 to 40% recycled materials in packaging and to collect 70 to 75% of the bottles and cans they put into the market by 2035. This new hub is a critical step towards achieving these goals in Nigeria. But the big question is, will it be enough? Nigeria generates an estimated 2.5 million tons of plastic waste annually, and only 10% is currently recycled. That's a massive gap. Can an initiative like this make a significant dent in Nigeria's plastic pollution crisis, or do we need more aggressive policy intervention? The Lagos State government has been very vocal about its commitment to sustainability. At the launch event, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by Special Advisor on Circular Economy, Mrs. Titilayi Oshodi, highlighted how these initiatives align with Lagos' broader waste management strategy. At the federal level, the Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, emphasized that sustainability and economic growth must go hand in hand. The government is encouraging more private sector participation in recycling and is expected to roll out incentives for businesses investing in waste management solutions. But let's be real here, Nigeria still struggles with enforcement. Without strict regulations, there is a risk that recycling remains an afterthought rather than a priority. The Coca-Cola system is taking the lead, but will other corporations follow suit? What's next for Nigeria? Where do we go from here? The packaging collection hub is a solid step in the right direction, but Nigeria needs a nationwide recycling framework, stronger policy, and investment in local recycling plants to truly maximize the impact. The goal should be transition from collecting and exporting PET waste to full-scale local recycling and manufacturing of recycled products. As consumers, we also play a major role here. More awareness is needed, and also proper waste disposal, segregation, and the benefits of recycling. This is a moment of opportunity. If managed well, Coca-Cola's new hub could set the standard for corporate responsibility in Nigeria and unlock a multi-billion naira recycling industry. But it's not just up to corporation. Government policies, industry collaboration, and consumer action will determine whether this is truly a game changer or just another corporate PR move. Now we move to the third headline. The federal government has just launched a massive $23 billion power program aimed at tackling Nigerians' long-standing power challenges. With infrastructure upgrades, renewable energy investments, and regulatory reforms, this initiative promises to reshape the Nigerians' electricity landscape. But what does this mean for the businesses, job creation, and our everyday life? Let's find out. We all know that Nigeria's power sector has struggled for decades. Frequent blackouts, unstable supply, and high production costs have slowed down businesses, limited industrial expansion, and even affected the quality of life. Despite the privatization of power generation and distribution in 2014, the sector has failed to meet expectations due to inefficiencies like poor metering, energy theft, lack of cost-reflective tariffs, and aging infrastructure. The recent announcement of this $23 billion initiative signals the government's recognition that these drastic changes are needed. This program isn't just about expanding power access, it's about modernizing the entire value chain to drive economic productivity. So what exactly does this initiative entail? Let me break it down for you. A significant portion of the funding, that's $15.5 billion, will come from a private sector, ensuring private sector efficiency and accountability. The remaining funds will be government-backed with support from multilateral organizations like the African Development Bank and the World Bank. A key priority of this initiative is the transition to clean energy sources. The Solar Powered Nigeria initiative aims for 5 million solar connections, while the 3,050 megawatt Mambila hydropower project is expected to become one of Africa's largest renewable energy products. To further drive sector growth, the government is leveraging public-private partnerships to invest in grid expansion and off-grid solutions, particularly in underserved rural areas. This collaboration with the private sector is expected to improve efficiency and accelerate distribution of electricity. The modernization of infrastructure is another crucial aspect. The government has partnered with Siemens Energy under the Presidential Power Initiative to upgrade transmission networks, reduce energy losses, and introduce smart grid technology for more efficient distribution. Since a significant portion of Nigeria's electricity generation relies on gas-powered plants, the plan also includes improving pipeline networks to ensure a steady and affordable gas supply. This is expected to address one of the major constraints in power generation. Finally, regulatory reforms will also play a pivotal role in the initiative's success. This includes the implementation of cost-reflective tariffs, enforcement of anti-corruption measures, and the promotion of a more transparent electricity market to attract foreign investment. Now let's talk about the impact of this. If successfully implemented, this power initiative could transform Nigeria's economy in several ways. Let's look at it. Reliable energy could add 2 to 3% to the Nigerians' annual GDP growth by boosting productivity in key industries such as manufacturing, agriculture, and technology. Businesses will benefit from lower production costs as they will no longer have to rely on costly diesel generators. Job creation is another expected benefit. The expansion of renewable energy projects is projected to generate thousands of new jobs in solar, hydropower, and grid management sectors. For rural communities, off-grid solutions are anticipated to bring power to 25 million underserved Nigerians, significantly improving access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Nigeria could position itself as a regional player through the cross-border electricity projects such as the West African Power Pool, enabling the country to export power to neighboring nations. For this initiative to succeed, it must receive continuous government support across different administrations. Inconsistent policy and political interference could derail progress. While private sector involvement is very crucial, investors need confidence in this initiative's sustainability and profitability. Regulatory uncertainty or delays in execution could deter foreign and domestic investors. A seamless collaboration between the federal government, state government, and private investors is essential to avoid bureaucratic bottlenecks and ensure timely implementations. Policymakers must streamline regulations to facilitate smooth implementation and address long-standing inefficiencies in the sector. But despite these challenges, with the right strategies in place, this initiative could be the catalyst Nigeria's power sector's desperately needs. Nigeria's power crisis has held us back far too long, but this $23 billion power program has the potential to change the game if implemented successfully. It could create jobs and improve the standard of living for millions of Nigerians. And that's a wrap on Market Square. We've explored the biggest stories shaping Nigeria and beyond, but the conversation continues. Until next time, I'm Olaiton Adebayo. Stay informed, stay empowered, stay ahead, and see you on the next one.